Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'll be the fox if you be the hound.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Rem, I fucked up.
That checks out. I don't need any further details.
That's it.
I understand.
Podcast over. Let's just go home. No, Rem, I have to elaborate and give details, because I fucked up because I let a combination of current events and poor, foresight really fuck me.
Are you talking about how we are now nearing the end of a certain month?
Yes, Rem, because it is Pride Month, and this episode will come out on the last Saturday of Pride Month.
The point is we got there. If you think about it, right? Hunter x Hunter, there's tension between Pikachu and Leo.
Don't bring up Hunter x Hunter shipping, my guy. It is a dark path. It is a dark path, and it's a path I've traveled, and it is a path I no longer wish to see again.
Fair.
Robert Frost may say that the road less traveled makes you better for it, but not that road. That's a road you don't go down.
It's a dead end, man.
Yeah, and not to mention that I really fucked up because the first anime we covered in Pride Month was fucking Girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think about that, and for whatever reason I thought, this will be a fun way to end the month. But no.
Instead of a fun way to end a month, it was a terrible way to start one.
Yeah, it is some of the most piss poor representation we could have decided on.
So I assume that you're at least going to try to do a little bit better.
Yes. Especially considering last week, 2 weeks ago, the emergency episode I did with Dylan has a lot of, I'm going to say it's got Yuri baiting. Because I don't know if they fully go all the way.
I thought you guys watched a golf anime.
It is a very lesbian golf anime.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's about it. Long story short, the company who made Gundam and Love Live made an original anime about girls playing golf on a overly dramatic scale, and there's a mafia involved. It's fine.
Jesus
Don't worry
Christ.
about it.
All right, but back to what we're doing this week. So what are we doing, and what representation are you trying to show off in this, or this anime is trying to show off? Lots of things that could possibly be trying to represent, poorly or well.
I think twice this month I fucked up on providing good girl love representation.
Yeah.
As it's called. So I want to try and fix that.
Okay, fair enough.
Not that I don't want to cover a boys love anime this time, but I just think that I've got to make up for it, man. We went from Girlfriend, which talks about hints at some girls love stuff, but never actually fully goes through with it, and is just bad polyamory.
Yeah.
And then we've got the golf anime, which might actually fully commit, but it's too early to say. And it was so mediocre in the beginning that it's
it doesn't matter either way.
It doesn't matter. For all I know, after episode 4, it gets really good and interesting, but I didn't watch after that because I had to do something really quick and dirty because somebody was sick. So instead, I'm going to do one of the most requested manga, girls love manga that we have been requested to cover, but it actually got a anime OVA adaptation.
Okay.
So I had to choose between two anime for this, and I had to choose between a TV show that aired in 2020.
Okay.
Or I could choose essentially a 1 mega episode OVA that aired in 2018.
I feel like one mega episode OVA, a mega episode, that's just a movie.
Yeah, but it's not like full movie length.
That's just an episode.
But it's not like a standard episode, though, Rem. It's in the middle.
How long is it?
About 58 minutes. It's right awkwardly in the middle.
If it were 10 minutes more or less, then I would have an answer.
Yeah, but you don't, do you?
It does
fucko?
seem like that is, in fact, a mega episode. All right, I'll shut the fuck up. Continue speaking, Shaun. I have been successfully refuted.
Yes, and we get a lot of requests to cover more LGBTQ stuff, which is completely fair. We don't need to only do it in Pride Month, but Pride Month is where we should really put some emphasis on it.
It gives us an excuse to do it, basically.
Yes, because we are two white, straight, cisgendered males. The second we start talking about these things, we have very little wiggle room. Because if we fuck up, people will let us know, and we'll feel so awful.
Hey, but that's how we learn. And boy,
Exactly.
we fucked up before. We have learned.
Yes. And hopefully we don't fuck up this time. If we do, let us know, and we will apologize in advance. Consider our ignorance charming, is what we're going to go for. So I had to choose between two anime that are both very similar titles. I went with the OVA, which is simply titled Asagao to Kase-san.
Cool.
And the other one I thought about covering was one called Adachi to Shimamura. See how I got those two confused?
No.
The fuck do you mean no?
I mean, I can understand how I would get them confused, but...
The first word starts with an A, and it's the same format. It's the same fucking format. Like,
First of
it's
all...
blank and blank, or blank and blank.
But the first letter, I don't think is... keep going. Go for it, bud.
Okay. And I was choosing between the first one, which was the series, which is simply called Adachi and Shimamura. So the two characters.
Yep.
And then this, the one that we're going to be talking about today, Asagao to Kase-san, is simply titled Kase-san and Morning Glories.
Okay, all right.
Like the flower.
Okay, I won't. Continue.
Yes, please. Thank you, Rem. I love and appreciate you. And I went with this one because, quite frankly, we got a lot of requests for it, and I realized that when it came out, I never watched it. It came out back in the spring of 2018, and it's one of those ones that occasionally pops up in our recommendations, and people are like, hey, if you start covering manga, you should do this one because it's cute. And I'm like, all right, that's fair. And lo and behold, I discover that it has an OVA. And I thought, hey, maybe this would be a great thing to do for a Pride Month episode.
Okay.
And it is, it's not a very complex story, Rem. It's just a very simple shoujo ai, yuri, girls love, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And honestly, it's a story that it's not going to blow your mind what I'm about to describe to you. But the important thing
which one
is,
has dead parents?
I don't want to talk about it. You'll have to see if there are any dead parents involved or not.
Cool.
This is the basic premise for Asagao to Kase-san. Yui Yamada is a high school girl who loves gardening, planting things,
Okay, cool.
flowers, vegetables, the like.
Yeah.
And one day she just starts dating Tomoka Kase, who is like this very like tomboyish, sporty ace of the track team type character.
Sure.
Yeah. Yui is just a very shy and reserved character, whereas Tomoka is like, just like I said, like loud, tomboyish, extroverted. And they're widely considered to be very different people. So the story is just simply them dealing with the oddness of their relationship and coming to terms with, it's okay to date people differently, as well as understand why you're dating them in the first place. It's a cute little story about girls dating for the first time and trying to figure out why they're dating, as well as being supportive and understanding of each other along the way.
Sounds like it has potential.
Yeah. It's not anything complex. It's not gonna blow your mind out of the water, but it's a 58-minute animated mega episode, or I suppose you could call it a special, just addressing these characters and their relationship. It's not any of the hey, do I like girls thing. It's very much, I'm fairly certain I like girls, and I like this girl, and we're dating, but why? Also,
that's a question I ask on the podcast all the time.
Yeah, why are you and I dating?
Why are we dating? It's a great question.
As two
Especially
straight
when we
white
know
men.
that on an animalistic level, we just aren't compatible love-wise.
What a weird way to advertise the Patreon.
Yeah. It's a pre-banter reference. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a weird one to say the least, but that's okay. And I figured that what would be very fun for us is to watch this anime, talk about it, and see what it does well, what it does right, from our perspective, and just talk about what we think makes good representation, and posit it to our listeners to let us know if we are correct or wrong about anything, and how we can be better as content creators. So really, this is going to be a grand experiment for you and me as reviewers.
Perfect. All right. Well, let's see how we do.
All right. So without further ado, let's go watch some Asagao to Kase-san. So the takeaway here is that lesbians love yams and Eggfest.
Yes, and a third thing that I can't remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after watching the entirety of the Asagao to Kase-san OVA. And Remington, we really got to know your thoughts, because that's the point of the show. And I don't know what my original, return to the show message was going to be, but it left my brain right as I started talking. So, hey, Ram, we got to talk about the anime we just watched. Funny how that works. I've been doing this for 4 years.
No.
I'm a professional.
Oh, Shaun. Yeah, I'll be honest. Don't know what the fuck happened there, but we'll just push right through it. We'll just,
yeah.
you know.
Who knows? Maybe Dylan will cut it out and save me some face. Maybe that'll
it's
be
too
nice.
late. It's too late now. We've made too much of a moment out of it.
Oh, fuck.
Now it can't be edited out if we've brought this much attention to it. Obviously. Nonetheless. Let's talk about Kase-san and the Morning Glories. We start off with a nice dreamy montage, essentially quickly getting us up to speed, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like, hey, they're dating.
Yeah. Which is basically what I told you at the top of the thing. So,
yeah. Yep. And I will say it's nice to have to just get started, and we don't have to worry about the chase that always lasts way too long. Mm-hmm. Right? Sometimes the chase is worth it. Most of the times it's like, come the fuck on.
It's a really delicate balance between a good budding romance and then a romance that has actually feels like it means something.
Well,
right?
yeah, because if you're chasing romance, right, there's a clear defined goal. It's getting the person to be your significant other, right? It's making the confession. It's getting them to love you back, etc., etc. It's clearly defined. Whereas if it's okay, they're in a relationship, what's the goal? For them to be happy, and that is a lot more nebulous, and which means it can go wrong. Though I strongly prefer it in this case. But we at the dreamy montage, we see that they get in the same class together, and that they recently started dating. And in fact, this is we have the two characters, Kase and Yamada. And I was tempted to piss you off by calling them Case and Yam, but I didn't. I didn't do that. Thought about doing that.
Oh,
I decided this anime was better than that, so I didn't do that.
Oh, goodness. I appreciate you showing some restraint for our Pride Month specific episode,
Hey, man, it is a fact that lesbians love yams. It's just the case. No, I can't make that joke yet. I made that joke with a different formula. What was it? Probably in last year's Pride episode, or the last time we did some Yuri, I did the same joke. I said lesbians love blank, but I can't remember.
Oh, God, I don't want to be the one to remind you, but
what it was.
One of our Pride episodes last year was what brought about Eggfest.
Yeah, well, Eggfest, but it wasn't that. It was lesbians love something. Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but also Eggfest.
So the takeaway here is that lesbians love yams and Eggfest.
Yes, and a third thing that I can't remember.
Okay, so if that's correct, let us know. We're still trying to learn.
Well, this is just further not just representation for all of our lesbians in the audience, but specifically representation for all of our lesbian fans who love yams. Continuing
We're
onward,
really targeting them.
it's a very targeted demographic. There's someone in our audience who really feels spoken to right now.
If that's you, send us an email. We'd love to hear about it.
Anyway, so this is Yamada's first significant other, right? It does not seem to be the case with Kase. Kase seems a bit more experienced.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and they like have a call, and it's just real cute. There's a specific GIF that I've seen before that apparently comes from this show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just excited girl like looking at her phone and like kicking around, right?
Yep. There are a lot of gifts like that, but the one in this one has made its rounds, as it were.
Yeah. And it's this is a tangent, but I hate how many anime GIFs I recognize now. Because it used to be I was just like, yeah, some weeby trash. But now it's like, oh yeah, this is from this show. And that hurts me. Anyway.
So I should send you more anime GIFs. Gotcha.
No. Yamada decides, hey, I'm going to make Kase some homemade lunch, right? But the next day, Kase isn't at school, and it's like, oh man. Then a bit later, Yamada is like very distracted. She wants to she wanted to really to give Kase the lunch, but wasn't able to. She starts gardening, and Yamada's friend Mikawa just joins in, is like, hey, notice that something's up. Anyway, later. Not really a full conversation, just being like, hey, seems like something's wrong. Have fun gardening. The day after, or I say day after, chronology is loose in this anime. So if I say day after, it could theoretically be a couple days after.
Or it could be the same day.
Yeah. There's some deliberate time skips that are more apparent, but beyond those, I'm just going to describe it as the day after. Day after, Kase and Yamada have a brief moment before being interrupted by a bunch of Kase's friends, who then Kase has lunch with, so Yamada still can't give her the lunch. And so Yamada has lunch with Mikawa, and Makawa's like, oh, okay, so you two are obviously dating, right? And Yamada's like, oh, shit. Because Yamada has no subtlety about her at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yamada, she's naive, shy, and completely earnest in every way. Nonetheless, later on, Kase finds Yamada and is like, hey, finally we get to spend a little bit of time together. Because like Kase is not deliberately avoiding Yamada. It's just she's busy. She's a busy gal.
She's a popular tomboyish sports girl. Like,
yeah, so
has
it's
lots
like,
of friends.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially because we see that Kase does make a deliberate effort to spend time with Yamada. And recognizes like, hey, it would be nice to spend more time, but also like I do have close other friends. And it seems like it would be very easy for this to be like the conflict of the show, right? But no, it's like it's an obstacle, but not a super significant one. They're still able to spend time together and enjoy spending time together and enjoy that. So it's like, oh, it's annoying, but we can overcome it, right? It's that sort of thing. Yamada gives the lunch finally, and Kase is very grateful and happy about that. They share some good old shrubbery memories, you know. Every couple has some shrubbery memories. Shaun and I do.
Yeah, one person is the shrubber, the other is the stalker.
yeah. Shaun, which one of us was the shrubber and which one was the stalker?
Oh man, let's be real, Rem. Of the two of us, I feel like I would be far too invested in my shrubberies.
Yeah, you're the shrubber for sure. You're the naive, aloof shrubber. Meanwhile, I'm watching from afar. Romantic.
Doing cool sports things that you are known for.
Yes, I'm known for my sports, and you are known for your green thumb. These are talents that we have.
I've never killed a plant.
Anyway, they share a kiss at the bus stop, right? And later, Kase is invited over to Yamada's, and Kase is like, oh, now she's like super bashful. She's like, oh my god, Because, like, Yamada is straight up like, hey, my parents won't be home. My parents won't be home and I'll be real lonely. And Kase's like, holy shit, how forward of Yamada. Way more forward than she's ever been. Then Yamada, she, like, cleans and waits for Kase because Kase, like, has practice, but she's able to leave early or something like that. The exact detail doesn't matter. But for a moment, I was like, oh, okay, are we going to have this sort of, like, Yamada is stuck waiting and Kase is late or just doesn't show up? No, she shows up because she said she would. And it's at this point that we can recognize there's a couple of opportunities they've had for, like, amping up the conflict, right? And they haven't really taken. And there's more moments of, like, miscellaneous obstacles, but this show isn't about the plot. This show isn't about overcoming some hardcore challenges. It's very slice of life romance, where it is just the day-to-day stuff, and there's significant stuff happening in the day-to-day, but a lot of it's just casual, and it's high stakes for them, but it's low stakes for, like, a viewer, which I think is totally fine, and I vibe with it hardcore. Kase arrives, and she has cake. Kase gets, like, super flustered. At one point, Yamada walks back in with tea, and Kase is sniffing the sheets.
Well, I wouldn't call it sniffing the sheets. I would say it was...
She was immersing herself into the sheets and sniffing those sheets.
She was just, like, exploring the environment, as it were. With heavy breathing.
Yeah, don't do that. Like, don't be like, oh, they're out of eyesight. Let's start sniffing the linen. Like, don't.
Sniffing the linen is my new punk rock band.
It's kind of a weird fucking move.
Yeah.
But they start talking and they have some, like, cake and stuff, right? And then Kase is like, hey, we gonna fuck? But she's like, hey, are we gonna do it? And Yamada's like, oh, she's talking about kissing. Let me finish my tea. I'm a little bashful, but yeah, we can kiss again. And Kase's like, oh, we're on different wavelengths right now. Kase recognizes, like, oh, okay, we had different expectations here of how this was gonna go down. And things are, like, sort of maybe about to get steamy, or at least by Yamada's standards. For sure by Yamada's standards.
Oh, yeah, no. Plant Girl is very easily embarrassed, let's call it.
Yeah. But they're interrupted by, like, a phone call, and both, like, feel quite embarrassed and whatever. Speaking of, so Yamada, Plant Girl, anytime she gets particularly embarrassed, she sprouts. She sprouts when she's embarrassed.
She sprouts.
Yeah, just a little leaf or multiple leaves will sprout from her head. Which, fun fact, that's just biology, folks. That's science. If you get embarrassed enough, you're gonna sprout leaves. They're temporary. They are temporary, but it's gonna happen.
I've also seen it happen as cat ears before, so it has variations.
It basically is the replacement for cat ears.
Yes.
Very much so. Which I also don't fully understand, but sure, okay.
It's animation, and it's allowed to be exaggerative and emotive.
Yeah. Nonetheless, then they decide to just cuddle, and Yamada likes that Kase smells like lemongrass. One thing I like that I notice here is, like in a lot of anime, both of our characters, they're awkward as fuck, right? But unlike most anime, we actually get to see them push things forward. Like, they are both deliberate, and they both take action, and they both, like, flirt and make an effort. And it's awkward and messy as fuck, but that adds to the charm, right? Whereas in so many other anime, it's like, oh, okay, we're just not gonna do shit. These characters just aren't gonna communicate at all. Like, it's okay to communicate ineffectively. At least they're communicating. The chemistry on this show is tremendous. Great chemistry. Which, unfortunately, you don't get in a lot of romance. So it's real nice to see here. Then we move. Oh, and also, there are times where you can definitely feel. So this was adapted from manga, right?
Correct.
You can definitely feel some chapter breaks.
Yes.
You
Oh yes.
uh,
I mean, this is an OVA, right? So
Yeah.
they took a bunch of chapters and mushed them all together into a semi-cohesive story. Is the
Yeah.
goal.
So this is a bit also one of those jumps where, all right, now they're on a plane. They're going to a more tropical region of Japan. Makawa is fucked up on the plane. Yamada's a little bit overstimulated, but Kase grabs her and shows her a view outside the window. Then they have vacation with a bunch of their classmates. And they're having a good time. But then all the girls decide, let's go to the bathhouse, right? And it's like, normally that'd be like totally normal and fine. But then Yamada is like, oh shit, but one of them is my girlfriend, which means I'm going to see my girlfriend naked, and my girlfriend's going to see me naked. Oh my god. And Yamada gets super in her head about this and gets like super overwhelmed. Briefly sees Kase naked and is just like, no, I can't. It's too much. it's too much. So she nopes out of it. She doesn't go to the bathhouse. Then
Probably a fair and reasonable response, I would say.
yeah, it's reasonable. Boundaries totally okay. And Kase sends a text that's like, hey, we should try to like sneak away tomorrow and have some time to ourselves. And because Yamada's still overwhelmed, she leaves Kase on red. Reads the message, just ignores it. Which, once again, is this going to be a major conflict? Not really. It's going to be conflict, but they resolve it. The next day, they're at the aquarium, and Kase steals Yamada to take her away to the beach and is like, hey, are you dumping me? And Yamada's like, oh, no, I'm like just self-conscious because I don't have like an athletic body like you do. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's a lot. And Kase's like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. That's it. All right, let's just have fun at the beach. And then they just have a lovely scene at the beach. And they promise to return there later on. And one gives the other a coral heart. It's nice and cute. And then we go to our sort of final act where they're doing like admissions and applications for college, right? And Kase, because she's like an athletic superstar, she has an opportunity to go to Tokyo University. So real solid opportunity. Meanwhile, Yamada is just sort of planning on going to the closest college around, right? Whatever's close, so she can just like walk there, doesn't have to move or any of that. They meet while gardening and have a little bit of a conversation, right? And Yamada is clearly uncomfortable with this reality. She's also just sort of in denial about Kase even going to Tokyo University, being like, oh, there's still exams and whatever. But Makawa's like, oh, honey, she's going to Tokyo University. Like, it's a lock-in thing. And then we get into a real weird moment, probably my least favorite bit of the entire show, where it's a really corny dream sequence thing, all about Yamada not wanting to lose Kase. I don't know, felt weird and unnecessary and not as grounded as the rest of everything else. Which isn't to say it was actively bad, just probably my least favorite bit. Yamada is super worried, and Kase calls concerned because she notices that Yamada's off, and they're like, hey, what's going on? Kase explains that like she was actually planning on staying local as well, but like her parents and her coach influenced her, just too big of an opportunity to pass up, right? Day before exams, they're about to part ways, right? They have a nice little conversation about it. But Kase leaves, and Yamada decides, you know what, fuck it, I'm going after her, right? So she chases her, a little bit stereotypical, like catch them at the train station or at
the airport.
At the airport.
Very 1930s, I can't go on without you type of thing.
Yeah. And then Yamada it is a bit of a funny moment because Yamada and Kase, they see each other, right? The train is right there, about to take off. And Yamada just straight up tackles Kase onto the train. Quite amusing. And then Yamada's like, I'm also going to Tokyo University then, which I don't think that's how that works.
No.
Like,
for frame of reference, Tokyo University is basically like our equivalent of like a Harvard or a Princeton. It is.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think, like, honey, did you get like some insane gardening scholarship or something we're unaware of? Like, I don't.
This girl, she knows how to work the plants so well they pop out of her skull. We gotta get her in our school.
Yeah, so I don't really think that's how that works. And then there's a little post-credit scene where they just talk about Morning Glories, meaning summer love and unbreakable bonds, which would be a little bit better if Morning Glories were... I kept expecting them to make like a point of it being like their flower together or something, or one giving the other a Morning Glory. But to my knowledge, the only mention of Morning Glories is in this post-credit scene. I could be wrong.
There's a brief mention of it on the beach scene area, if I recall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, I thought the ending was a bit weird and not ideal. Not terrible, but...
I will tell you right now, she does not go to Tokyo with her. She just doesn't.
Yeah, because of course she doesn't. Because
No,
that's not how that
not.
works. I feel like it should have just been, which, and this is also pretty cliche, but it's a cliche that at least fits the story, I think, better. It should have been, yeah, you meet them back at the train station, right? And then you do, Yamada initiates a big kiss in public, which would be like huge for Yamada. And then they part ways.
Yeah.
Right. And that would have had some nice character growth and a nice moment as well. It would have been a little bit melancholic, but they would have like reaffirmed, gonna call, gonna visit, etc., etc.
Yeah, no.
It still would have been a happy ending. Yeah, and I think it would have fit sort of everything else they were going for a bit better. But that is a mild critique.
Yeah.
Right.
That is the result of the format that they had to go for this one. Just the sheer simplicity of it. Hey, it's an OVA, and it's not likely to get anything else, so they got to do what they can. Because I think, if I recall correctly, from what I've read of the manga at the very least, it goes on for like several dozen chapters after that point, and like there are several chapters that are cut out. Like, you know, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and for what we got, I think it was fairly well executed.
Oh yeah, I thought this was extremely well done. I thought the characters were very well fleshed out. Granted, like, you can be like, oh, there were only 3 characters, and it's like, yeah, they knew they had limited time to work with, and even in the first 15 minutes, I understood the 2 main characters on a deeper and more interesting level than like shonen protagonists that I've spent 10 hours with. All right. It's like they have very effective storytelling. Once again, the chemistry between them was great. The characters themselves, fun and interesting. And both of them just awkward messes, but very sympathetic awkward messes where they're both really trying and they have the best intentions, right? It was delightful. It was absolutely lovely. I thought it was very good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, Rem. Do you think this is just a really good representation of romance?
Oh yeah, like it's like a lot of times I see some like teen romance thing and I'm like, okay, that's representation of teen romance in that it's bad. In that this relationship is fucked. This is an example of like a teen romance that also happens quite a bit, right? Where it's like, oh, this has potential, and even if they don't end up forever, right? It's like they've built a strong and valuable relationship that will stick with them for the rest of their lives. And like a lot of people seem to have this mentality where if you break up, then a relationship suddenly has no value, which I think is silly. Like if you're in a relationship with someone for 5 years and they help you become a better person, and you just happen to break up for one reason or another, you still became a better person through that. You still learned from that. But nonetheless, yeah, I think that it was a healthy relationship. It was a very caring and passionate relationship that felt sincere. So often when we get into anime that are like, oh, this person who I have just met, not naming names, of any anime that we've seen this month. This person I've just met, I am deeply in love with them for no reason. It's like, okay, cool. Or
Yeah,
even like we've known each other for years and I care so much about you. You can tell by the fact that, I don't know, the plot requires it, I guess. These characters really do feel like they care deeply about one another.
and that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
And definitely a great way to do Pride Month, and definitely something I should have started Pride Month with, right? Definitely should have. Man, I should have really been on my game this year, but, at least we got it in at the end, right? Right?
I'm just glad that this is your problem that you get to have the flag for.
Yeah.
Really, behind the
yeah.
scenes, I've been telling him, like, hey, it's Pride Month. You should really be doing something for that. And he's
Hey,
been
no,
like,
no, don't. You didn't say shit when we did those other recordings. You didn't say fuck all. You could have, at any point, you'd be like, hey, Shaun, maybe a Pride Month episode would have been good. Rather than let me continue with my, current events. I gotta jump on them current events. Hunter x Hunter's back. I gotta talk about that. And give people what they want, when in actuality, more people probably wanted us to do some more Pride Month stuff. And I feel bad about that, which is why I'm trying to make up for it now by showing you a very good OVA that I'm not certain a whole lot of people have seen.
And it was very good. I would strongly recommend it. Even if you've listened to this whole episode, knowing what happens, once again, it's not plot centered. Knowing what happens does not dilute the experience, I would say, at all.
No, not at all.
It's sort of the narrative, borderline irrelevant, I would argue. The characters and their relationship and the moments they share, that's what really matters.
Yeah, it makes your heart go doki doki. It's important.
And Ara Ara or whatever the fuck.
No, that's different. Reb, that's different.
I'll be honest. No, I don't remember what Ara Ara means.
Ara Ara is like the equivalent of my or oh my. And in a lot of culture, it's like very like powerful
Horny?
ladies. I wasn't gonna say that, Rem. I wasn't gonna say that.
But you probably were.
But there's a lot of situations where it's like a my type of thing. And Dylan's gonna have that soundbite forever, and I hate myself for it. But no, Doki Doki is literally just the sound effect for a heart beating. That's it. Yeah.
All right, fair
Doki,
enough, sure.
doki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a heart.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, Doki Doki moment is like, oh man, my heart, it just, oh, that's so cute. And also, what the fuck are you doing? Type of thing. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. Not sure for what, but I feel like I need to apologize in general.
Yeah, fair.
So, Rem, if you had to guess, what do you think the mouse score for Asagao to Kase-san is?
All right, let's see. I think, I'm trying to figure out whether OVA counts as a bonus or a detraction, right? Because it's not like a full series, which could be a detraction, but a more niche audience, which could provide a bonus. And then combined with the smaller audience factor, like, I don't think a billion people are going to know what this is. So law of small numbers in this case might indicate that it's higher, a little bit abnormally so. I'm going to say, I'm going to go with it's niche and mostly only people who already thought they were going to love it and or read the manga and knew they loved it. They're going to be 90% of the audience here, and thus it's going to be 8.2.
8.2. All right.
Yeah, nice and high.
Well, you were correct. Very small sample size in this one. Not as many people have seen it. Currently with a mere 38,000 ratings. Very small.
Yeah.
Asagao to Kase-san is sitting at 7.73.
Oh, see, how I know that's the wrong rating is that would be pretty comparable to my rating.
Yeah. Like, if it matches Remington's thought process, you know that the weebs are wrong about something, is what you're saying.
I'm like, there's a mismatch here. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, like, I scrolled through some of the, like, low ratings on it, and I was just kind of confused, genuinely.
Like, I don't get me wrong, I don't think the show is for everybody, but I feel like if you're looking at it, like, basically, I feel like if you reached it, it is your thing.
Yes.
Like, if somehow it came your way, it's because it's your thing.
Yeah, like, some mad lad gave this show a 2 out of 10,
What?
and said it was one of the most shallow, frivolous anime he has ever seen.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, says the only good things are art and cutesy moments. That's it.
I don't know what they want.
I Exactly. That was my thought process.
I don't know. I don't know what specifically. I don't know what they wanted from this show.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, here's another one. The only good thing I have to say about this is the art and sound. What are these reviews? Anything else, including plot, which we've discussed, character, which we feel like we did well.
All right, plot. Yeah, if you're here for plot, then I guess not. But
No.
also, I disagree with you if you're here for plot in the first place.
Yeah.
If you're here for characters, yeah, no, they nailed that.
Yeah, no, they say the character interactions ranges from mediocre to cringeworthy.
I mean, sometimes it's cringeworthy in like a deliberate way.
Well, yeah, because it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's like Yamada. It's like, oh, Yamada, honey. Oh God.
It is amazing. Like, reading through bad reviews, like, both infuriates me and makes me laugh out loud. But yeah, no, it's go watch it, y'all. If you like cute, wholesome stuff, it's a good way to spend 58 minutes. It really is. But I suppose with that in mind, this is a bit of a tough one to ask, but if you wanted, how to phrase the usual question for this one?
If they had a sequel, if they made it into a full series, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways, Shaun.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if there was more Kase-san to watch, would you want to, Rem?
Oh yeah, 100%. So long as because my worry would be like if they made it into a series, or if they got like a proper budget and studio,
And, like, remade everything?
they would be highly incentivized to add more plot and complexity, which I think would make it worse. I'm okay if they added a little bit more plot, but only a little. I don't want them to distract from the core value here of the characters, the relationships, and just the humanity of it all.
Yeah, I will say that the anime studio that made this one, God, I can never remember how to pronounce it because it's a fucking nonsense word, but I think it's Zexes, Zexcs. As far as things that they have made, this is the top of their list.
Yeah, fair.
So, you know, there's a strong, and we haven't covered anything else on this list as far as I can see. So, yeah, no, like, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, a full adaptation of this. I believe it would probably include some of, like, the pre-relationship stuff, but that's, that's fine. Yes, it's fine, Rem. You don't have to
Agreed.
question yourself.
Agreed.
But honestly, I think getting more of this would be honestly a very nice, sweet, wholesome time. But with that being said, if you enjoyed listening to us regularly apologize to people that we have horribly wronged, then you can leave us a review on whatever platform you listen on, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, or Spotify. And if you would like to help us even more directly, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where myself, Remington, and Dylan play video games exceedingly poorly. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you can gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who in their garden plant some lovely thorns and then prick us with their thorns. Lovely. Oh, I fucked that up. They grow lovely roses. They don't. They just grow thorns.
They just grow thorns. Just raw thorns. No flowers. Man, the thorns are looking lovely this time of year.
That's how I felt sometimes. There was like a neighbor's garden, and I can't remember there being many flowers. but there were thorns everywhere. Like, I remember being young and just being like, all right, don't touch any of this shit because it's out to get you. Also, I remember when I was young in my backyard, we used to have like really tall roses, or some rose subsidiary. I don't know. They were super tall. Once again, according to very young me, with huge fucking thorns. Vivid childhood memory. And nonetheless, we go to our Yandere waifus. And on that list, we have Alex, Xanax, you crazy bastards did it. I made it to finals weekend, will graduate in May. I truly had the power of God and anime on my side. Yandere Neko, you here? Why Shaun? Walk me home gently. Wade, I shall. Every time it's gonna happen. Viva Pinata is my favorite anime. Hell yeah. Tyler Worley, Trenton Farrell, Travis J. Humphrey, Totally God, Tony Choppa, Titan CNH, Tim Westy, The Susanator, that film guy, that autistic and furry mega weeb from the land of tea and crumpets. Tetsuo13 says, brace yourself, beach OVAs are coming. Surely, Shaun, you can do better. He can do better, and don't call him Shirley, Shaun. So that gag got old, but I had fun while it lasted. So how are you guys doing? Having fun, I hope. Anywho, I'll talk to you later, I guess. Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Sean's meow awakened something within me. Sean punished Rem and make him watch Excel World. Selling Rem's belly button fluff on Alibaba, PM me for details. School Days in Clanid for the feels. Salty Pretzel, Sadie Bartling, Ross Palmer, Rhiannon Williams, Remington Merrill. Rem gave me depression, patiently waiting for a Madoka Magica revisit so Rem can see where his predictions went. Oh boy, an ounce of serotonin, don't mind if I do. No waifu, no lifu. Nick Harvey. Misaka wrote it down for her, answers Misaka, flummoxed by the unexpected appraisal of her handwriting. Mike the Mutilator. Mikeka 7 Hierto. Mexican Gone Freaks. Matthew Drum says Sean's a bitch. Matthias Rodas. Master Baker at Crumb Sluts Bakery. Martin. Matt02 Max. Lizzie Anthea. Lukio. Logan Evans. King Rich Rock. Casey Mosley, Cassidy, Julian Garcia, Joshua Poor, Jose Melcher, Jax, Jam Hands. I'm just here for Rem's insightful yet incorrect takes. It's my birthday, May 20th, so I'm now God and I'm taking over the podcast. ISIS, but only for terrorizing birds. Oh, thank you for the clarification. Is Rem's ass a cheesecake because I'm starving. Iron-Blooded Orphan slaps. If you could have any anime, cartoon, or video game series as a White Sword set, what would it be? It would just be Shaun. But a cartoon version of Shaun, so it counts.
I'm an anime series?
Yes. No, you're a video game series because you bitch about to be played. I'm lonely, so I watch anime. I want Rem to ruin Darling in the Franxx for me. I guess you're on Keter duty. Hunter Davies. Hey, you, slob on my knob like corn off the cob, then give me head like Rem in bed, do a moan. Hey, Shaun and Rem, try to pronounce these compounds. Again, 1,4-dimethoxybenzene, tetrabutylammonium bromide, acetylsalicylic acid. There we go. Glory to the Golden Throne of Terra, all praise the God Emperor of Mankind. Glenn Michael Dolan, fuck of love Fox and Boy. Fern the Fern. Father Soft Hands. Farmer Weeb's Bad Pickup Line of the Week. Are you a sentient AI? Because you're turning me on. Farmer Weeb inspired me. Are you a fireplace? Because I want to put some wood in you. Fantide. Extreme Cobra, Epic Amy, Elite Knight, Drink Milk to Prevent Wobbly Bones, Not a Conspiracy, Creed 13, Shy 900, Cheese Monkey, Carson MO5, Cage in the House, Brockhart for Geodudes, Big Blue Bear Boy, Anime Nosebleed, Elise Howard, AJ Honey, there we go. Next we move on to the Boy Wizard tier, over to Hogwarts, where everybody is going to get their own flower, or sometimes just a plant, it looks like on this list, and the meaning of it. So a symbolic plant. Warning, you're 799 episodes away. You get an oak, which means strength. Vincent Calabrese, you get a hollyhock, which is ambition. Blast Huntress, you are a crab blossom, which means ill nature.
Jesus, harsh.
Stick meat, you get the bluebell, representing humility. Shuffleboard is totes a sport. Sure, why not? You get Belladonna, symbolizing silence. Rika is the best waifu. You get, Magnolia, nobility and a love of nature. Rat Visa the Finnish and the one who in the name of the Utah invasion has landed in Florida like it's a D-Day. You get a poppy, which is consolation. Pocket Gamer 513, you get, a tall sunflower, which represents haughtiness. My Afro Ate My Dog, you get a dwarf sunflower, which represents adoration. Momo the Griff, you get a zinnia, which is thoughts of absent friends and lasting affection. Mike wants an Overlord review. You get Mint, which represents virtue. My Tawa says first 3 arcs of Bakemonogatari is just 8 episodes. You get Yellow Jasmine, which is grace and elegance. Inuyasha is my favorite cryptid. You get a Forget-Me-Not, which is true love memories, and do not forget me. Yeah, pretty fucking straightforward on that one.
I could have guessed that.
I want everyone to know that I suck and that I'm a girl and that I like ribbons in my hair and that I like to kiss all the boys. You get a White Clover, which means think of me. Hinata is a ball of sunshine. You get Red Chrysanthemum, which means I love you. Harrison, you get Carnation, which represents fascination, female love, and specifically a mother's love. That was for Harrison. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, call the cops who won't unvirgin the olive oil. You get Fern, not to be confused with Fern the Fern, which represents magic, fascination, and the secret bonds of love. They're the premium bonds of love that you need to pay extra for. Gay as fuck, but without the fuck, because I'm ace. You get Lady's Slipper, which is capricious beauty. Dylan, when are you taking over?
Last week.
Yeah.
No, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. You get oregano, which means substance.
Substance?
I don't know, there's something hilarious
man, getting that oregano.
Like, I'm a rose, I'm a tulip, I'm oregano.
It's like how my favorite Spice Girl is cilantro, you know?
Demon Ray 13, you get Tarragon, which is lasting interest. Beethoven 1201, you get Sorrel, which is affection. Anchoy 4, you get Hydrangea, which is gratitude for being understood, frigidity, and heartlessness. Very different things right there. And last but not least, then we have All Father's Facts are on hiatus for the foreseeable future because he ran out of facts and doesn't want to make Dylan do more work. You are the Edelweiss, which is courage and devotion. Aaron Heglin, you are the butterfly weed, which means let me go. God. And 2 sec, Shaun, I have to show you my Rule 34 reviewee. It is my favorite of my many folders. You are going to get... Choose a color, Shaun.
Purple.
There's dark crimson.
Close enough.
All right, cool. You get dark crimson rose, which means mourning. So Shaun hopes someone close to you dies. Pretty fucked up, Shaun. No. But you know, we can't stake here. We'll leave them to their mourning, inflicted by Shaun, and go to our inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun as Joey Wheeler.
No.
Always a good opener. I'll tell you, we'll alternate, right? We will be giving plant-based pickup lines, back and forth.
Oh God. You have sent me a list.
I've sent you a list. I don't know if it's a good list. There's a couple other lists, so you know, we'll see how.
I'm skimming these,
goes.
And they are awful. All right.
Oh, perfect.
Because some of these aren't pickup lines. Some of these are just weird. But hey, you decided this. This is on you.
All right. So Shaun will start us off, and this is for 02 Waifu.
I don't know what this means, but all right.
All right, cool. Yeah, just say it. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, all right. Are you a daisy? Because I incredibly urge to plant you right here.
Oh, okay. Well.
That's the exact sentence. I did not flub that.
Yeah, you just say you want to fuck them right here and now.
I incredibly urge to plant you.
Yeah.
That's a strange statement.
It's a weird way of phrasing it, but the redneck weeb returns thanks to moonshine and jiggle physics. All right, it's my go. I hate to see you go, but I love to watch your leaves. Yeah, it's a decent one.
That's not terrible.
Dylan, just add in audience sound effects based on how good you think the line is.
Yes. If it would seduce Dylan, like let's just go with that.
Then it's like crowd, like there could be an ooh, a cheer, a boo, crickets, whatever. Next, Shaun.
I just want to point out that this website is called Pickup Line Ninja. It is the most cursed site.
Next, we move on to Shaun. We should watch Helsinki Bridge next week.
If you were mine, you'd be the perfect fruit of my labor. I don't know.
All right. Next up, we got Magic Ice Ball. And you are going to... I wish you were a berry because I would bottle you as jam and enjoy you in winter.
What?
I think they're just gonna kill you. I do not think this is a threat. This is this is not romantic. You're in danger.
And why only in winter?
I don't know, man. The only time you can enjoy jam, you know? Next up, we got Magic Ice Ball. Oh, wait, no, we just did Magic Ice Ball.
Just did Magic Ice Ball.
Next, we have I spend too much time playing Overwatch. Please help.
My God. I wish I could have harvest you at peak season. Whatever
They're
that
all
means.
so bad. Do you not like the butt drawer? The drawer for butts, presumably. You are going to get... Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Alright, are you ready for this one? This one only kind of related to plants, really. It has the word plant in the line, but... Hey, do you want to plant some sugar daddy? That's it. That's the whole thing.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Next, we have my dear old mom. Tread carefully.
Oh, fuck.
Tread carefully, you son of a bitch.
This is your own damn fault. Ooh, man, all of these are bad in the context of your mother. Okay, maybe this one? I saw a flower on my way here, and I thought it was the most beautiful thing. But then I saw you.
All right, classic, respectable.
Thank you.
Next we have Chelsea Nussbaum. Hey, how about me and you turnip in your bed?
What?
Like turn up in your bed, but it's turnip.
That, man.
But also saying like, how about we turn up in your bed doesn't.
That's not good. That's bad.
Like, yeah. So, sorry, Charles. Next, Blood Cell, not the white one.
Fuck, I'm sorry. Would you help what the fuck? Hey, Yugs.
Yeah, there you go. You gotta get
there
back
we
to
are. Alright, would you help germinate my seeds?
Oh, God. Next up, we have Anime Girl. Oh, God. Oh, here we go.
This is hurting us more than anything, Ram.
Of all the tomatoes I've tasted, your heirloom are the juiciest. And last but not least, going above and beyond, we got Dylan Hayden.
Okay. Promise to love me, and I will promise to love you until roses cease to be red. Which I don't think is a pickup line.
yeah, that's a weird, like, opener.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, you walk up to somebody at the bar, guy, girl, in between, and just be like, hey, if you love me, I won't stop till roses are no longer red. It's like, what the, dude, start with a hello, maybe.
Right? Nonetheless, thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out to us, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over on to animeoutofcontext@gmail.com. Did I just say?
No, I think you're good.
Okay, I like blacked out and I didn't know if like memory and momentum carried me sufficiently.
I think it did. And if it didn't, Dylan is a magic man. He can make it work. Why did I say it like that? He can make it work. Fuck. But once again, thank you all so much for joining us. We love you all very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister. Rem, I fucked Putin in the penis. My. And while you're doing that, I'm going to empty my ass of your pussy mucus.